We're now joined by the writer and broadcaster, Max Keiser. Welcome back to the programme. What do you make of it all?
Well, the pasty tax didn't save Britain? I'm surprised.
I think we've moved on from the pasty tax. What do you make of it all?
Well, the UK is screwed. Basically,
Screwed, what does that mean?
The coalition made the wrong bet. They supported the bond market instead of the real economy. And that strategic mistake, and that we're seeing the result of it. They could have somehow put money into CapEx. They could have done something to increase the competitiveness of this country. But instead, they supported the bond market. They supported the bankers. They supported bailouts. They got this funding for lending scheme where the bankers are just hoarding the money. They're not lending the money. They're using it to play off the central bank for rent seeking. And as a result, they've squeezed out the real economy. The bond market now, here's the joke, Andrew, the bond market is now on the verge of a major correction, a major sell-off. So this is why I say the economy is screwed.
You mean the British government gilts?
The gilt market is now, it's at a, was at a 300-year high.
The yield is rising now.
That's right, the yields are rising now, because the bond markets are coming down.
And the cost of insuring a British debt is rising.
That's correct.
So and sterling is slipping. So if you look at the Forex and the bond markets, there's a sense that these markets are now saying, hey, this government's fiscal stance doesn't have credibility.
Absolutely. Sterling's selling off, as you point out. The bond market, the gilt market is collapsing. It's starting to move down. Yeah, the yields are moving up.
Yeah, the yields are moving up.
But the overall trend in this market, when you see a bond market like this trading at 300-year highs, not since 1694 has the UK gilt market been as high as was recently.
In your view, then, what is, if the financial markets, the people who lend us money to pay for this huge deficit we're running, if they start to lose confidence, because the one thing the government's always put, it doesn't say it's actually a QE that's doing it, but the one thing the government, and Mr. Alexander said it again, oh, well, interest rates are low, people are lending us money, we've got confidence. If that confidence goes, and as you say, there are straws in the wind.
Well, you see the yield is moving up, and the rating agencies are saying they're going to downgrade British debt. That means the cost goes up again.
And the markets have kind of factored that in already. So what's the consequence?
They haven't factored it in already. The markets are poised to begin to attack the British pound.
What's the consequence?
That the cost of funding is sharply revised upwards by 200 basis points, which would mean the cost of funding, right now, a big part of the debt is the interest cost. That means that part of the debt's going to go up substantially.
And therefore mortgages would go up.
Yes, mortgages, of course, would go up, and a lot of people are on tracker funds, which would trick another real estate crisis.
What do you make of this?
Well, I'm just wondering, this is all very kind of theoretical and kind of high and mighty. The impact on people's living standards, but also it seems to me that no one else is doing much better out there in the world, so where will the bond market go? I mean, if everyone's being downgraded, aren't we just all we're all in the same place, just one mark lower? We've all got B's instead of A's.
It's an ugly baby contest, isn't it?
Well, what's happening is you see every single currency in the world is depreciating against gold and silver. Gold is now becoming the de facto global reserve currency. That's why Germany is repatriating their gold. That's why the Netherlands is repatriating
taking it back from the New York Fed, aren't they?
And also France, because they don't trust each other. That's why this bond market is very problematic. They don't trust each other. They want their gold back in the vaults, and they're becoming very vocal about it. The countries around the world are repatriating gold. Gold is hitting new all-time highs in currencies last year. It's trading up against the British pound, and that's where these funds are going.
You're a gold bug.
I've been saying for 5-6 years to position in gold and silver because these policies are completely irresponsible because there's too much kowtowing to the city, too much largesse to the banks. They've squeezed out the productive economy, and now the day of reckoning is upon us.
So the day of reckoning, I mean, it all sounds very apocalyptic. Just taking you back
to
the
bond apocalypse.
Yeah,
the bond apocalypse.
But sure.
James Bond apocalypse.
The bond apocalypse.
But just taking you back to your original proposition, where does this end as far as Craig says, as far as the ordinary voter is concerned? Where are we heading?
Well, I was watching Andrew Neil last night on the Weekly Politics show, and Michael Portillo this week, and he's saying devaluation, British pound devalue.
Well, that's already underway.
Well, there's going to be a sharp devaluation.
You think a sharp one?
Absolutely.
Now, when I tweet that, a lot of people then say to me, oh, well, that's good for exports. I then point out that the pound was devalued by almost 20% after 2008, and our exports are up 0.1%.
Right. That's a misnomer to say it has beneficial.
What it means is more inflation.
That's right. The cost of imports goes up, and as you point out, there hasn't been a net gain in exports, even though the pound has depreciated.
Okay, I better let you go and count your gold.
Excellent.
And come back and see us.
Okay.
Max, thank you very much.